Hi Gemini, this is going to be a self-love tarot message. These are general messages. If it doesn't resonate with you this week, come back and maybe I can help you next week. These are self-love readings and they're designed for spirit to showcase areas where we might be letting ourselves down or areas where we're not being authentic enough with ourselves. Part of self-love is self-acceptance, and it's a really hard thing to do, to accept parts of yourself that you won't even acknowledge. So we're going to go ahead and get started, Gemini. I do a 6-card spread. And then the 7th card is going to be a message directly from Spirit. I shuffled a little bit before, so we're good. In this first position, Gemini, is going to be how you feel. In this second position is going to be something that Spirit wants you to prioritize. In this third position, it's going to be an area where you might knowingly or unknowingly be letting yourself down. And Spirit is saying, hey, let's pick it up. In this fourth position, it's going to be something that Spirit wants you to acknowledge, to be more authentic with yourself. In this fifth position, it's going to be something that Spirit wants you to let go of. In the sixth position, it's going to be something that Spirit wants you to acknowledge. Maybe it's something you don't know, but in this situation, there might be things going on in the background. In this 7th position, like I said, it's going to be Spirit message. So we can go ahead and get started. Gemini. Gemini, oh no, what happened? I have to remember your readings from last week. It could be different though. Spirit says you're feeling like the 10 of Swords. Ruin. These swords are pinning here to the cloud, but in the traditional tarot, the 10 is, I always associate it with ego death. Right? It's like the culmination of some kind of cycle. These aren't bad though. Yeah, okay, so it is a death, and that's always like super uncomfortable. And it is a change in who you are as a person. You're still the same person, you're just changing. And I personally always think of ego deaths as beneficial. So you're changing for the best. That's really exciting, Gemini. That's really exciting. An area that Spirit wants you to prioritize is this Prince of Cups. Do you have feelings, Gemini? Of course you do, but are you trying to share those feelings with somebody? Are you trying to bring those feelings into the world? You're trying to manifest them or create them. Spirit says that if there's something that you want, you need to prioritize that manifestation. Prioritize that creation. The Knight, the Prince of Cups, is like the Knight of Cups, right? And the Knight of Cups is somebody who is bringing news to you, or you are taking news to somebody else of emotions, of feelings. Maybe you have those. Maybe you want to do that. Uh-oh. I hope those are all good feelings though, because the devil or the universe is saying that something you need to take off the back burner, something you might be aware of. Maybe you said, I can't deal with that right now. Spirit's saying now it's time to deal with it. We have devil energy, Gemini. Who else got this? I think it was like Capricorn. No, it is Capricorn. Who got the devil? It doesn't matter. It was Sagittarius. Sag got the devil too. But the universe is telling you right now that this is something you need to deal with. If there is like toxic behavior, if there is like negative emotions, if there is like addictions, that's something we need to deal with. That's real. In this position of, wow, what the universe wants you to acknowledge. It's a sense of worry. The 5 of Pentacles. I rarely ever even see this card in my spread. And usually it's like, oh, let go of worry. But this is saying it wants you to acknowledge this worry. I mean, if you're stuck in some devil energy, if you're trapped in some kind of situation, because that's what happened. Well, okay. So you see them, they're in that net, right? The devil, he has this net. And these people are in that net. But they are holding themselves there. Do you feel, Gemini, like you're being held back by somebody, or are you holding yourself back? Whatever it is, I genuinely believe that you acknowledge this devil energy because you have that worry. The universe is saying if there is worry in you, if maybe you just got into this new situation, you're super excited because you're like, oh, I have all these feelings and I like this person, but then this person turns out to be like toxic as F, like as AF, you know? And so now I'm just like, maybe this isn't the best position for me to be in. I'm a little bit worried. That's fair. That's a human emotion to experience. Concern. Suspicion. You know, take a step back. If you're worried about something, the universe wants you to acknowledge this as being more authentic with yourself. When we want something, sometimes we can rearrange what reality looks like to make it seem as if we're getting that thing. And then we aren't focused on what's really happening. If you're worried about something, you need to be honest with yourself about that. If something feels wrong, that's probably in your intuition, and you should tune into those feelings. Follow them, figure out where they're coming from and why you're feeling the way that you are. You need to acknowledge this, because if, you know, like scary movies, right? I'm the kind that always yell at the TV. So like, I know that the killer's in that room and that chick is like, she's gonna go in there, and I'm like, don't go in there, don't go in there, right? That's your intuition saying, don't do it, it's just gonna get worse. Because if you understand right now that you're in devil energy and you're a little bit worried about it, that's a good sign. That's like the universe and yourself being like, I don't know about that. That's good. Acknowledge that worry. Bring that to the forefront. One, either it is just worry and like anxiety and it stems from nothing. Or two, your body's like, this is not good for you. You need to get away from it. And that way, either way, one, you realize, okay, anxiety, you're just here for nothing, go away. Or you could be like, hey, thanks, body, because I didn't get murdered by that serial killer. Thanks. Whatever it is, you need to acknowledge that worry. The universe is saying that it's there for a reason. It's come up. It's part of your feelings. Deal with it. And this position of what the universe wants you to let go of is this King of Wands. Oh. I don't do relationship readings. How these come out, I just take them as they are. I don't try to do signs. I don't try to do whatever, except that you're in this devil energy. And so if the person that you're with is that King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sag, you know, maybe that's a sign. I'm not saying that they are. I'm just saying maybe that is a sign. But the King of Wands is somebody who is really passionate. Sometimes he can be immature. Sometimes he can be somebody who just like reacts to things and doesn't think his way through. So maybe something came into your life. It was very exciting at first. You had all these feelings. You wanted to like do something about it. But now it didn't work out the way that you feel, and you're in this devil energy. You know that you're trapped. You feel worried, and that's why you have this ego death. Y'all seen that one meme about like, thank God that I didn't die in any of those, what is it? It's like, oh, well, the point is, you know, when you're a kid and you get into shit that you shouldn't be into because you have absolutely no idea about how the universe works or how the world works or how the, like, even where you live, you work, you don't know anything. And so you end up in these, like, really, really sus, sketchy situations. And, like, you look back on it as an adult and you're like, damn, how did I live? How did I survive? I remember one time I walked 14 miles in the dark, in the freezing cold at, like, 4 o'clock in the morning, like, well, when I started walking, I was incredibly trashed, but that cleared up like almost immediately. But I did this because I was at a party and I got into an argument with somebody and I got into a fight and I was like 14 miles from home. And so I walked. My mom does not know about that. Like I would never tell her that. Are you kidding me? She would have shown up at those people's house. Like it would have been awful. So like what I'm saying is we get ourselves into these sketchy situations and then we look back on it and we're like, that was not good. Maybe that's what this ruin is right now. Maybe this isn't an ego death. Maybe this is you looking at the patterns and the situations that you create in your life that end up with you being stuck or trapped. And you're like, I'm not going to do that anymore. Yeah. And so here you are, you're in that position where you're just like suffering from dealing with all the things that you've kind of led yourself into. Acknowledging that we make poor choices is a very good way to in the future make better choices. I personally know that I'm crap at choosing boyfriends. I know it. and then like if you dig deeper like into the reasons why I chose each one of them, you're like, oh wow, there's something wrong with you. And I'm just like, I know. You know, getting to know yourself, getting to know those parts of you, it helps. Because like now that I've learned, I've been through therapy, I've been to see a psychologist. Like there are a lot of things that I am fully aware of now in my process. And when I come into contact with somebody and I'm like, yes, oh my God, hi, yes, Okay, that is a signal to me to like take a step back, because that person is probably a drug dealer or like an alcoholic or someone who likes to hit people. I just can't, I'm not good at picking them. And so what I do is I recognize that these are my traits. These are the things that I like about people. Being emotionally unavailable. Why? Because I'm emotionally unavailable. I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying to tell the truth. I'm trying to be honest in these videos because my situation or like how I understand things might help you too. So like, I pick these terrible people. Years of therapy. Now I know that when I do initially, like whatever is initially drawing me to somebody, I have to be careful. I really do, because I'm following patterns that I've always had established. And when I meet nice boys who like want to take me on a date and like literally buy me flowers, I'm like, but I'm learning. I really am. And so like acknowledging these things, it's like an allergy, right? It is. It totally is. So like if I know I'm allergic to nuts, I'm not gonna eat things with nuts in it. I'm acknowledging that allergy. I'm acknowledging that me and those things don't like work copacetically together, that it's gonna cause some kind of reaction that I don't want. So I'm just gonna avoid those things. If now you are seeing those patterns, it can be hellacious. It really can, to just be like, oh man, I'm the one who screws up my life so much. Fuck. It's not even those dudes that suck. It's me picking those dudes that suck. But if you're learning that, if you're learning those things and you're seeing that, I would think that you were acknowledging this pattern and you were worried about the situation. Okay, that's great. Now let's remove ourselves from the situation by letting go of the passion, the reactivity, the reactiveness, Gemini, and let's let go of that, because that's going to help us move forward. What the universe wants you to acknowledge is this King of Swords. Now, the King of Swords and the King of Wands have similar but very different energy, okay? The King of Swords is this person who is creative and mature. This person is really thoughtful. This person puts like a lot of details into what it is they know that they want, right? So this person probably sat down and made like a list, and they said, okay, this is the things I want. I want kindness. I want somebody who's funny. I want somebody who's smart. I want somebody who's fair, somebody who's loyal. I want all these things. He made this list, and then now he's going towards that, because the King of the King of Swords is also a king of movement. In the traditional tarot, he is sitting still, and he's represented as like the most calm, the most relaxed of the kings, because his mind is clear. It's not cluttered with like all of his other things. Your King of Wands, put him back in the wrong position. Your King of Wands would definitely be that kind of guy. He would be the kind of guy who has a lot of things going on in his mind at one time, and that's why he's so reactive. It's like the wheel, right? That wheel you spin on The Price is Right, and it goes beep, 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 beep. There's so many things going on in his mind that whatever that wheel like lands on, whenever it finally stops turning, that's what he's going to react to. So you need to let go of this reactive energy and really get into this like thinking things through energy, which is great because that's your energy. You are a Gemini, you are an air sign. The King of Swords is like your king, basically. So the universe is saying like, hey, shit's not working out. Let's change our approach, which is like the whole point of these messages in the first place, because self-love is about reestablishing patterns that we've learned in our life that require us to give and give more of our energy, more of ourself, more of our love away than we're getting back. And so self-love, these videos are all about reshaping those patterns, those habits. And this is telling you to reshape those patterns and habits. Go from less of a passionate and reactive energy to something that's well thought out, planned. The universe is saying to you, oh, look, abundance. Okay, so things aren't good right now, but I really believe that this is a pattern. These are habits that you're going to change, or hopefully that you can incorporate into yourself so that you can be more authentic with yourself and give yourself back the things you need, because that will lead to abundance. Beautiful, Gemini. I'm so sorry. I have a strong sense that I'm so sorry. I feel like I have something stuck in my throat. I have a strong sense that right now you aren't in a good place. And like maybe physically you're in an okay place, but emotionally you're not. Or maybe emotionally you're okay, but like physically you're not. But whatever it is, it's got this devil energy connected to it. So we're going to go ahead and clarify. And I'm going to use the Shamanic Healing Oracle deck. These are like really, really beautiful cards. Check the gold. Very nice, right? I will show you these to you as we go along. Okay, so let's clarify. We said that right now you're in this Ten of Swords, this ruin energy. What's so bad? Yep. It's this transformation. But look on the bright side, okay? So like right now you're feeling crappy, but this is all of this stuff that you're learning is stuff you're going to take with you in the future, and you won't have to feel this way anymore. That was the universe's promise. The universe's message was abundance. This change in you is going to bring you to the next level of yourself. And I have strong suspicions, and I'm really, really going to look into this. Like, if our material abundance is related to like our understanding of ourselves. Although I would be rich. Or would I? Okay, so we said that Spirit wants you to prioritize these feelings you have. Whatever it is. I mean, it could be relational, but like I don't do relationships. All we know is this is emotions, okay? There are emotions that you need to get out, okay? They're going somewhere. I think it's the worry. I think it's the anxiety, personally. And creativity. I mean, creativity could be an emotion. You could be feeling creative. Maybe you've figured out a creative solution to get out of this devil energy, or you're going to have to figure out a creative solution to get rid of this devil energy. Like I said, we take on these patterns, these behaviors, and we learn them over time. So if you're anywhere near my age, we've been doing this for a long time. Like a long time. And so to change that behavior, you might think, oh, well, I will just stop doing that. But it won't happen overnight. It won't. And so it might take a creative solution, especially to get away from the devil. Growth. I love that. Okay. I feel like these emotions, these feelings that you're feeling, dealing with this is all going to lead to some serious growth. I'm proud of you, Gemini. Okay, so this devil energy. I don't know. I don't necessarily get the sense that this could be in a relationship, but then like what else would make you feel like this, right? It tends to be soulmates that trigger us, like trigger this kind of response in us. And there are two types of soulmates, right? Well, I mean, there's a ton of soulmates, but you can have like karmic partners or you can have soulmates. And karmic partners are the kind that will drag you down and literally beat you until you understand that you deserve better. This could be that. You could be deciding right now, hey, I don't like the situation I'm in. I deserve better. And that does not come from the beating. That comes from the inner journey. I was in a really abusive relationship when I was like 18. And I take my responsibility for that. I take part of the responsibility for that. I grew up in a household where that kind of shit was regular. So I knew that you weren't supposed to hit people, but I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. I didn't know how to deal with my feelings. And when I became expressive in that way, he was expressive in that way back. And so it wasn't him hitting me ever that made me think, oh, I deserve better. No. It was other people in my life showing me that I had the ability to be more than I thought that I was at that time. We say, or I always say that emotions are feelings, they're not places to live. I was in the emotion of shame. There were a lot of things that I was like disappointed in myself at the time about, and I used that relationship to beat myself up. Literally, yeah, I used it as like a punishment for myself. And then there were other people in my life who were like, you know, you deserve better. You know that you're smarter than this. You know, you could do more with your life. And I've done so much more with my life. But that wasn't because I listened to those people either. It was because I had to sit down with myself and think, hey, what kind of life do you want? You're 18. You're going to be 19 soon. You're going to be an adult. Is this what we're going to do? We're going to be in unhealthy relationships. We're going to have unhealthy coping mechanisms. We're going to drink and get high all the time and just pretend like our life doesn't happen. So I went to college and I did a study abroad in China 我会说普通话，当时一点点. I've worked at the state capitol in Hawaii. I have 3 degrees. I have my master's degree. You know, I've done so many things. Not to brag, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, like, it was that inner journey for me that made me understand I want more and then to change. So I had to go through my ego death too. I've probably been through like a bunch of them. Oh my God. But this inner journey, because real and lasting change, to get away from this devil energy, real and lasting change has to come from the inside. No one else can do it for you. No one else can prioritize it for you. The universe can't do it for you. They can bring people into your life. Like if you're in a karmic relationship and it's actually very toxic, they can bring other people in. The universe will bring other people into your life to show you ways out. But those are only ever opportunities. The universe can only ever offer us opportunities. I feel like this devil energy, whatever you're dealing with right now, is actually a burden. It could be a relationship, but this could also just be toxic behavior. Maybe something that you do for yourself. I used to drink heavily to deal with the things that I was going through. Heavily. I used to keep a handle of Captain Morgan underneath my car seat, my driver's seat. I would drink when I got off work. My driving home. Like, I'm in no way saying that these behaviors were effective. I am literally saying that I was killing myself. Like, I could have killed other people. I was drinking and driving. But what I was trying to do was just drown out my life. I didn't like things the way they were. But that didn't help. Nope, didn't help at all. Never, not once. Actually just got me in trouble all the time. I'm like a really, really, really friendly drunk, and I will be friendly to anybody. Unattractive quality. Like, that's not the kind of person I want to be either. In fact, I don't even like people enough when I'm sober. Why would I be nice to them just because I'm drunk? Okay, I need to get in better control of myself. And that's what I did. I went on this journey and I just figured out like the things that I wanted, right? We talked about that. And that helped me change. Lasting change comes from the inside. And it's a burden. It's a journey. It's hard work. But just choose your heart. Do you want to stay? You know, like if I hadn't changed, what would have happened to me? I would have stayed in an abusive relationship. I probably would have gotten pregnant, and I probably would have tried more hardcore drugs. I mean, weed's not even that bad, but like in the situation I was in the particular place I was in the Midwest, meth is like incredibly easy to get. And then I would just decide like, yeah, I'll be a meth addict. And I know that seems like, oh, you're just going crazy, but is it though? Is it really? I feel like being a meth addict would be a hard life to have. I feel like being married to and trapped to somebody that you don't love with children and you can't get away, that would be way worse than saying, I think I'm going to stop drinking. See, like there's different versions of hard, Gemini. We just have to choose our hard. The universe says they want you to choose to acknowledge this worry. If there are problems that you're having, acknowledge them. If you need help, Gemini, like if you don't want to go to the people that are around you, my email address is in the box below. You can email me 100%. I will email you back. We can talk about it. We can Zoom, whatever it is. But like, you should seek out help if you know something's wrong. You should. And I have just 1,000 reasons why you should. This sense of worry will eat you up. Like it says slow but steady, but I think that if you don't deal with it, it'll exacerbate. That's what happens with physical symptoms of underlying issues, right? It's a healing energy. Embrace the fact that you're concerned. Embrace the fact that you're not sure what to do. And then find help. Guidance. A shaman is a guide, but also a therapist. A licensed therapist is a guide. A psychologist. I don't know if you know the difference, but from years, I will tell you. Therapists listen to you. That's all they do. Sometimes they cry when you make them sad. Psychologists will say, hey, you have panic attacks? You want to know how to deal with that? And then I say yes. And then they tell me, and I'm like, wow, I now have way less frequent panic attacks. Exciting. When you acknowledge the feelings that you have, you allow yourself emotional space from those feelings. If we haven't talked about emotional space, we can totally talk about that. But when we acknowledge our feelings, okay, so like say you're really worried about something, you're so worried, first day of school, right? You might not go to school anymore, but I'm 32 and I still have dreams that I wake up where I missed the bus for the first day of school. So like that will get to you. That'll be something that bothers you forever. So let's say it's the first day of school coming up, or the first day of your new job, and you're just like super nervous about it because you're just like, oh, I'm so excited, I'm so nervous, I'm so like, what if this, what if that, what if that? And then you don't sleep, right? So that's worry manifesting itself as insomnia. But that also like, you know, manifests in other ways too, because insomnia manifests as gaining weight. Do you have belly fat? You need Relicore, right? Okay, so not sleeping properly doesn't allow your body to digest and get rid of, eliminate waste in the same effective way, and so you start to gain weight. Also, your worst driver. Did you see that episode of Mythbusters where they tried to see if drinking 3 shots is the same as not sleeping for 2 days? And they found that the person who didn't sleep was actually a way worse driver than the person who was drunk. Not sleeping can manifest in all kinds of ways. So if there's something that you're worried about, you should deal with that because it will manifest physically in a lot of other ways. The universe is saying that you need to let go of this like passionate reactive energy. Yeah. I think that maybe in the past when we build these patterns, Gemini, of giving away our power, we've also like gained... what am I trying to say? In the past, when we learn these habits, right, that are not self-love, giving away our power every day, even being reactive in situations, those are the patterns that we learn. And so, with this card, Reunion of Souls, I think that what part of our soul, oh my God, when we give away those little bits of ourselves, we are giving away little bits of our soul. When we learn to be reactive, like say we had parents who, when we were kids, if something went wrong, they were just like, what are you doing? Oh my God. Or like the worst one, like you're crying and they're like, you want me to give you something to cry about? Bitch, I'm already crying. I don't need anything else. I'm already traumatized. Thank you. Okay, when we learn those patterns, they take part of us away. Changing our habits, learning self-love, is that reunion of souls, not somebody else's soul and your soul and your soul. I don't know if you know what a Horcrux is, but it's basically the same idea. Yeah. Divine timing. I really hate this card, but I think that divine timing is that trigger, is that switch right in your brain that says, hey, I don't deserve to deal with this stuff anymore. A lot of people right now are actually coming to those realizations. We're entering that age of Aquarius, and it's supposed to be an enlightening. But with an enlightening means that there is more illumination, right? And when the sun comes up and everything is bright, it's much easier to see those illusions that we've been pretending. There are so many people who can get into a relationship and get married and be in relationships for years and just be pretending, just going through the motions. Not because they don't love the person that they're with, but just because they think that's how things are supposed to go. And then now we've come to this illumination, this great illumination, and we got the pandemic at the same time, and so many people are forced for their lives to slow down. And they take a look around and they're just like, oh, I hate everything. Who painted my walls this color? Oh my God, right? That divine timing is like a switch. You're going to realize that this behavior, this thing that you're going through is not working, and we're going to change how we decide to do things from now on. Personally, I have decided to use more honesty. 1, it's easier to be honest because you don't have to remember a lie. And 2, you can tell people later on, I don't lie. And you're not lying. That's great. That's your psychic ability. Okay? I think with this King of Swords, we said slowing down, being more thoughtful, thinking your thoughts all the way through, and then moving towards the things that you want. That's a psychic development. That's listening to your intuition. I don't believe in mind reading, but I do believe that your intuition is the guiding force. And every time that you give away your power, you learn not to listen to your intuition. But moving back into this thinking things through energy is going to help you develop more of that intuition and to integrate different aspects of yourself. It's beautiful. Those reunion of souls, integrating those parts of yourself that you lost. And the universe said that this will lead to abundance. I don't actually see material abundance here. I did earlier, but this card isn't about material abundance. This card is about healthy relationships. Look at them. Look how happy they are. If you're in this energy right now, Gemini, where you're not happy, well, hello. Abundance is coming. You just have to change your perception. You just have to change your habits. I'm real sorry. Now, it's stripping illusions about who you think you need to be. There's no answer to that question. Only you and the universe can decide that for yourself. I think that we are all here to serve a purpose, and that purpose is to help people around us. And we can't help the people around us if we are stuck in double energy, not acknowledging our own feelings, being reactive to everything. Can't. It's impossible. Yeah. We have to learn self-love. Well, Gemini, that was a really good reading. I would be concerned because I do see this double energy, but what you have to do is already laid out. So if you follow this advice, if this resonates with you and you think, yeah, sometimes I'm not really very honest about the way that I feel. Sometimes I feel trapped in my negative behavior. Oh my God. If you could do that, if you could just acknowledge that, that's like half the battle. So many people live in just really upsetting situations. They're upset every single day and they won't acknowledge it. But we can only move through what we acknowledge. So I think that if this resonates with you and you do take this advice from Spirit, things are going to work out really well. I'm not worried. Well, Gemini, I hope that helps. Have a good day.